the significance of this is June 12 is the Independence Day in the Philippines of 1898, independence from Spain. And this day was chosen because it's Philippine Independence Day to unveil the Little Manila street sign. Well, who knows how to actually start? It starts with the Filipinos moving here. But in terms of significant numbers, it's post-1965 Immigration Act when nurses, healthcare workers, architects, engineers, accountants came here to work as professionals in the United States. And this is not too far from the Elmhurst Hospital, but I guess some Filipinos settled here and then their friends and family followed, and over the years more and more Filipinos are here in Woodside, and the last stat I saw is maybe 13,000+ Filipinos live in Woodside. And in New York City, the majority of Filipinos live here in Queens. Of roughly almost 100,000, 54% live here in Queens. And then some deeper history. With the maritime history of Brooklyn Navy Yard, there's a Filipino restaurant near the Brooklyn Navy Yard, and enough Filipinos live there. And we saw in some newspaper clippings, it might have been called Manila Way, but that was before it was paved over by the BQE, so it's not there anymore. So many. I guess the key one for the past year since the City Council approved it is the support of the Phil-Am Food Mart, National Alliance for the Philippine Concerns Northeast Chapter, the Philippine American National Historical Society of Metro New York, and the group I'm a part of is Little Manila Queens Bayanihan Arts. But beyond that, there's also many other individuals, including Steve Raga, and support for, it's been a community collective effort. I was crying earlier. It was really moving to see them unveil the sign and to see it actually happen. That was cool. And it's going to mean so much to so many people. Not just to Filipinos, but to all New Yorkers celebrating our diversity. So I'm very excited about that. Selfies. We'll get hopefully a lot more selfies. And what I hope too is, because it's recognizing, our 50 years of, or 45 years of Phil-Am Food Mart. This is the concentration of the Filipino American businesses on this very block, so this will help their businesses, I hope. Yeah. I think everybody will be proud, and it's recognizing our healthcare workers, which many Filipinos are in significant numbers, and sadly a huge number of Filipinos passed away in their support and care during the depth of the COVID. My mom is gonna be, bragging.
Hi, magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. We're gonna start in 5 minutes, but we do encourage folks to do the monopole right here. Talk to one another, build community as we celebrate a historic day today, everyone. Give it up for yourselves. Again, we'll start in 5 minutes. Thank you. Can we have another? Yes, volunteers. Yes. Thank you. Salamat po. Testing, testing.
Testing, testing.
Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. Give it up for yourselves!
Hi everybody, my name is May. I'm from NAFCON, the National Alliance for Filipino Concerns. I also live here in Elmhurst, and I'm the Northeast Coordinator for NAFCON, which is a national alliance of Filipino orgs, institutions, individuals that uphold and promote the rights and welfare of Filipinos in the U.S. and in the Philippines by creating an action-oriented platform. We are grounded in NAFCON's pillars, which we're all celebrating here today, our culture and heritage, education, health and wellness, and advocacy.
And my name is Michael Garrovillas, also from the National Alliance for Filipino Concerns. Born and raised New Yorker, live here in Woodside. Happy Philippine Independence Day. Happy Pride. Happy day to everyone today.
Yes. Also, our Puerto Rican folks are also celebrating as well today, too.
Happy Puerto Rican Day, too.
Today, June 12th, marks the 127th anniversary, 24th anniversary of the Philippine independence from Spain. But it also marks 2022 as the year our community names this very avenue, Roosevelt Avenue and 70th Street, to be codenamed Little Manila Avenue.
So historically, this actually isn't the first time that this area of the Filipino community has tried to be renamed. Hold on, we'll also give a pause during train breaks.
So that everybody can hear. Obviously, people who live here in Woodside and near the 7 train understand the 7 train.
And so let us value the rich history along Little Manila and beyond Woodside, the working class migrant communities who have sacrificed and struggled to ensure the welfare and well-being of those back home in the Philippines. Para sa Pilipinas, para sa inang bayan, nandito ang puso natin.
We'd now like to introduce Father Julian Jagudilla from OFM, a Franciscan friar who is based in the Church of St. Francis of Assisi in Midtown Manhattan. Also the director of the Migrant Center. Thank you, 7 Train. Also the director of the Migrant Center, which is based at the same church. Father Julian is one of the conveners of the recently formed FANA, which stands for Filipino American Network Against Asian Hate. Both the Migrant Center and FANA advocate for the rights and welfare of immigrants, of Filipinos, APIs, communities, and women and members of the LGBTQ community. They stand for inclusion and equality. Father Julian?
Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. Mabuhay ang Pilipinas!
Mabuhay!
Happy Independence Day!
Happy Independence Day!
My friends, indeed, this is a historic event. The co-naming of Roosevelt Avenue and 7th Street as Little Manila Avenue. This event is not only a testimony to the fact that we Filipinos have been in this community for many years, but also to the fact that we belong here and we are here to stay. Little Manila is a recognition that we Filipinos have a place to call our own. Here in this place, we gather to share our favorite Filipino foods and delicious cuisines. Here we gather to share our stories, our struggles, and our hope for a better future, not only for us here in New York City or the USA, but also for our families back home. Here we gather to celebrate important events. Here we cried and stood with each other in solidarity. No matter what our differences are, whatever is our politics, religion, or region in the Philippines, we are one. We are Pinays and Pinoys here in Little Manila. Let no one tell us that we cannot claim a spot as our own or we don't belong. Not even the recent spite and anti-Asian attacks should discourage us. No amount of racism should bring us down. Little Manila is a dream come true that started with the works of many Filipina and Filipino activists, past and present, who advocated for the protection and betterment of our community. We cannot ignore or forget or exclude the contributions of so many individuals, our kababayans, our community activists in the past and present that carried us through in achieving this dream, Little Manila. Let me say that one more time. We should never ever forget or exclude the contributions of many Filipinos, activists, and our kababayans. This morning we are gathered to honor and thank countless individuals present here this morning and those not with us but are united with us in solidarity, who contributed to achieving this project. So please join me in a prayer. God of all people, we know that you are always present with us. We believe that you hear our cries for help, our prayers for ourselves, and our loved ones. With gratitude we turn to you today. We are thankful for creating us in your image and claiming us as your children. We thank you for our community gathered this morning. We thank you for this space you have given us to call us our own. We thank you for everyone who worked towards the realization of this project. We pray that you continue to unite us as one community, as one people. God, give us the courage to overcome anything and everything that divides us. The strength to face racism and discrimination. Empower us to live not in fear, but in your hope. And finally, guide us on the path of peace, kapayapaan at kabutihan para sa lahat. In the name of all who love peace, justice, and mercy, we pray, Amen. Mabuhay ang Pilipinas.
Maraming salamat, Father Julian. Give another round for Father Julian, please. Right, it is as a reminder in our collective effort and unity to really stand right against Asian hate, in solidarity and be inclusive with one another as Filipinos and non-Filipinos, Black and Indigenous communities that will continue through campaigns and efforts to serve the people. And so we must understand that each and every day is a sacrifice and struggle to make sure that we create a better world for one another. And so I'd like to introduce right now Xenia, Diente, and Tita Beth Diente, residents of Woodside, to share words on the history of Little Manila.
Magandang hapon po mga kababayan! Say mabuhay! Okay. Magandang hapon po mga kababayan, mga tito, mga tita, mga nanang, mga tatang, mga lolo, mga lola, mano po. Mano po. Meaning, you have to kiss the hand and the one who is giving the hand will say, God bless you. Pagpalain ka na may kapal. Dios. That's Tagalog. Okay. I am so honored and happy to have been invited to speak during this important celebration to co-name a street named, everybody say, Little Manila Avenue. This celebration is significant to Filipinos who also today is, as you have heard, observing the 124th Independence Day, which is June 12, 1898, when we got our independence from the Spanish Revolution. My name is Elizabeth Diente, or Lola Beth, to many of you, a long-time resident of Woodside, where my family worked, my children were born, one of my child was born, and they all went to school here too. And I'm also one of the Filipino nurses who work in New York City. Train break. Most of all, I'm the proudest mother of Xenia Diente. Xenia! Everybody say Xenia! One of the organizers of Tukoni this street. My family moved here in Woodside in the 70s. And when Phil-Am opened up, I was pregnant with Xenia, and I was one of the first customer, I think, of Phil-Am Market. They call it also Tindahan. And back then, we have to travel to New York City to 42nd Street for Port Authority to buy some Filipino goods. Take the subway. I was pregnant, take the subway, and when I saw this Phil-Am, what a big relief. Okay. Back in the 70s, the highlight of excuse me, sir. The highlight of all newly settled Filipinos in Woodside, like my family, is when I said that this Phil-Am was open. For now, I'd like to thank everybody who worked hard to make this little Manila a reality. The real Manila Queens Bayanihan Arts, the countless individuals who wrote and signed the petitions. The great example of that we all work together. Working together is also called Bayanihan, the Bayanihan effort. And we thank the city officials who are here, who also, the city government officials for the honor and recognition of the Phil-Am contributions. We now all call the home far away from home. So everybody repeat from me, Little Manila Avenue, Little Manila Avenue, Little Manila Avenue, officially. It is the little. Salamat po.
You can stay with me.
Oh, okay.
Hi everybody. Thank you everybody for coming. This wouldn't have been possible for everybody here. Little Manila Queens Bayanihan Arts, Filipino American National Historical Society, New York Chapter, National Alliance for Filipino Concerns Northeast Chapter, and Phil-Am Food Mart, the core committee of organizing the past 2 years to get the sign installed. But there's some history behind that, which goes back many, many years. But I'll start at 2020 with the Mabuhay mural just on the other side of the block on 69th Street. We had a little Manila sign hung for the unveiling ceremony to honor healthcare workers. And at that ceremony, Council Member Jimmy Van Bramer said he will help make this happen. And with that, gave us or our group the motivation to move forward and get the petitions, ask people to write their signatures. And yeah, over the process, it finally got approved this December 2021 at City Council. So we couldn't be more proud. It was a long time coming, and recognizing the over 50 years of businesses right here. So thank you very much. We have other people on the program, and I just want to say thank you and recognize our history. And we're all here, so just speak to one another and to recognize a part of our own history. The I'm apologizing for the wrong year. Either 1917, the 7 train was built, and so they created Roosevelt Avenue, named after both Roosevelts. And the interesting tidbit of history is both Roosevelts bookended the American Filipino colonial period. So how interesting to dig deeper into that history. But thank you very much, and I will hand it off. And please come by for our Tandang Sora project across the street after the event. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Xenia and Tita Beth, for sharing your memories with us. Look at it. It was raining, and now here comes the sun. It's out. Look at that. Again, from your stories, your lived experience, Xenia and Tita Beth, we realize and recognize the sacrifices of our Filipino working class who sought out more opportunities due to the hardships that they experienced back home in the Philippines. So we remember all those contributions, those stories to Beth. Those stories that Tita Beth and Xenia were sharing, we're also reminded that here in Little Manila, for Little Manila Avenue, we really see all the contributions of healthcare workers, domestic workers, folks in the food industry, professionals, teachers, students, migrants, and all our frontline workers that have really got us through the pandemic. And today is one of those days that we're celebrating and honoring them. So I want to encourage folks today, while they're here in the neighborhood, because a lot of people came from different places, and we're so honored that y'all traveled to witness this historic moment with us, to please make sure that as you're in the neighborhood, we really encourage that you support our local businesses, these mom and pop shops, like they said of some of the new businesses or the businesses that have been here for a really long time. These mom and pop shops have offered the quality of service and comfort that reminds of us at back home. And it's that excellence that Filipinos are known for all over the world, right? So I want to, give a shout out to Philem Food Mart, Ihawan, Amazing Grace, Kabayan, Baby's Grill, Renee's Kitchenette, Kay Glenn Sari Sari, Kusina, Tito Rad's, Purple Dough, Kachika, Kapamilya, as well as the other businesses like Johnny Air and LBC, the salons and barber shops that also provide service like Guapa and Filthy Rich and Styles. So all these places, we really want to make sure that folks that are here today who haven't seen some of these small Filipino businesses, please, we encourage you all to check them out. So I'd like to invite our next speaker from Philem Food Mart, Joe Castillo, to share some words, please. Oh yes, you just jump right out of the crowd. Everybody just go.
Hi. Thank you. Hi. I wasn't expecting this many people. I didn't really have anything prepared to say. You know, I guess first and foremost, I want to thank all the organizers, Xenia, May, Jackie, everybody that's been part of doing this. This is incredible. You know, when they asked me to speak, I was like, you know, what do I talk about? And they were like, oh, you know, what does this mean to you and home? And it's odd because like somebody else asked me, they were like, oh, how does this remind you of home? And for me, this is home. I grew up here. You know, I moved back here. My kids go to school here. This is part of who I am. And my family and I have been incredibly blessed by and lucky by the growth of this community. And you know, I know the past couple of years haven't been easy for anybody, small businesses, families that are struggling. But it's incredible to see everybody kind of coming together and rallying together the way this is happening. You know, I've been very fortunate. I have a very unique perspective as a Phil-Am growing up here in this neighborhood. Some of my friends, they grew up in other places. You know, they have a perspective of being more American than Filipino. I have kind of the opposite. I basically grew up Filipino the entire time because of this neighborhood. And, you know, I love the sound. So yeah, you know, there we go. You know, when I was a kid, I think all the Filipino families in this neighborhood knew each other. Now it's impossible for everybody to know each other, and I think that's a blessing, but also kind of sad because you know it's you know not as tight as I wouldn't say tight. It's still tight, but it's not as small as it was before. But it's a blessing because you see everybody kind of rallying together here, being so proud of who they are. You know, I'll just share one story. You know, when I was a kid going to school here, I'll wait for the train. When I was a kid growing up in this neighborhood, I'd go to school, and at lunch, you know, I'd always feel a little self-conscious that I was the kid with the rice and, you know, and some Filipino food. I always, you know, asked my parents, you know, make me a ham sandwich just like everybody else. And it's so funny because now that my children go to school here, you know, I asked them what they want for lunch and they're like, oh, we want rice and tocino and all that stuff. So, and it's not weird. It's not weird for them because there's so many other cultures in this neighborhood. What does this sign mean for me personally? I think it's cool. It's just very cool. But more importantly, I think that for the people of this neighborhood, the people that live here, myself included, it's a little bit of history. When you talk about New York, talk about the melting pot that is this great city of ours. And just to be able to have like that one patch in this whole quilt or tapestry of all those cultures, I think means a lot. For me personally, and I hope I speak for most of my neighbors here. So with that said, I'll just say thank you again on behalf of myself, my family. My parents are here with my kids. My sister from another mister is over there too. But thank you everyone.
All right, thank you so much again, Joe, for sharing your reflections and really what today means to you. I think maybe that's something we should ask each other as we get to know who we're sharing space with here today. Is kind of ask what was having Little Manila Avenue here mean for each and every one of you. So I invite you all to do that with folks nearby and get to know each other. So, are folks ready? Woo! Yes. We will be asking for.
Oh, my mom and dad, Ida and Yve Castillo, as well as Jackie Bacani from Ihawan, and my kids.
Yes. Come on up. So while we're getting folks to come on up, I'm also, most of you were able to get some little mini Filipino flags, right? So what we're gonna be doing is as we want to reveal the street sign, we are gonna do a countdown, all right? So when we do the countdown, turn this one on. Okay. I don't think you can see. Ooh. You want me to be there? Oh. Can you turn this just slightly more to your right? There we go. Even more. Okay, everybody, so I'm gonna count and we're gonna put our little flags up, all right? We're gonna count from 10 down, all right, everyone? I know you're anticipating this countdown for this historic event with Roosevelt Avenue being formerly co-named, the impact and the influence of Filipinos here in this neighborhood. Sampo, siyam, wala, pito, anim, lima, apat, tatlo, dalawa, isa, zero! Keep it going, keep it going! Okay, pull. Ah! Little Manila Avenue! Dito na! Woo! Congratulations, everyone! Woo! Isa pa, mana po. Gusto kong kumain pa. Okay, here we go. Woo! Thank you. Another round of applause for Little Manila Avenue, everybody! Woo!
Again.
Organizing here and asserting our interests, our rights, and what we need to live dignified lives. Even though sometimes I have a reputation of being a rabble-rouser, of creating some trouble, we are just trying to create a good, dignified life here. So please, all of us together, coming together, stand with the Filipino community to ensure that our rights are protected. Borders and town names and street names are political designations, right? Maps, geography, what we call this place will always change. The people who are here will change. But it's the grassroots, the people that get to define this neighborhood. We get to tell our stories, we assert our space, We need to build unity and solidarity and push boldly for our rights to exist, to live, and to thrive. I am just one person in this community that we're building. You are all part of that, and we all have issues that we want to assert. So just take a moment to look at this sign. Think about all the moments, all the joys, the pains, the mundane, the conflicts, all of that has defined your experience of being in Little Manila. Years, decades, maybe even centuries from now, when we are no longer here, this sign will still be here. We will be remembered. Thank you for joining this historical moment.
Thank you, Jackie, and I'd like to introduce Kazz from Style Studios.
Queens, we are here. Let's get it. I just want to say thank you. I'm not much of a big talker, but the fact that we are here celebrating this big moment is amazing. Thank you to everybody who put this together, everybody supporting this block. I am born and raised here in Queens, so this is like, I feel the energy, it's amazing. I own Style Studio, which is the first barbershop on the block when you enter Little Manila. I see a lot of my clients out here. Thank you guys so much.
See you guys.
Noel, I don't know. This is great. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you all.
All right. So next we have a cultural performance. Are you all excited? Can you all see the stage? Yes? Okay. Well, now we have Kimberly Camara, born and raised New Yorker, chef and co-founder of Cora Donuts. I have not gotten a chance to try them myself directly, but my friends have definitely shared some of the donuts they were able to get. Kimberly co-founded Cora over the summer of 2020 amidst the uncertainty of COVID-19 global pandemic. Cora's motives lie broadly in the exposition of the richness that exists within our Filipino culture and intimately in tribute to the co-founder and chef Kimberly Camara's late grandmother, Corazon. She will be singing that favorite Filipino harana, Dahil Sa'yo. Give it up for Kimberly!
Feel free to sing along.
Hey everyone, thank you for having me. My name is Kazz. I'm a choreographer, dancer, performer, and also co-founding director of Topaz Arts. Topaz Arts is a cultural space and visual arts and performing arts space in Woodside, Queens, founded in 2000. So we've been here in Woodside for 22 years now, and we've been bringing the arts and culture to Woodside, Queens from all over the city. I also want to give a shout out to an amazing running group that I'm involved in that has many Filipino runners called Woodside Sunnyside Runners. Shout out! Again, another fabulous group in Woodside. Again, Woodside's really about community, and it's been a really great, it's so welcoming just being here in this community, knowing that we're all here for each other. So thank you again, and I really appreciate this time. And yay, Little Manila Avenue is here to stay, and we are all here to stay. And thank you all. Thank you for having me, and happy Philippine Independence Day.
All right. This event doesn't happen unless we have a group picture. Isn't that the rule? So we want everybody to come up close to the stage. If you need help, maybe some of the folks, don't please, everybody, come up close. Be careful with the water. If folks can help our elderly, like need you in the picture. Retrato tayo. Come on, everybody, get in the picture. Kabayan! Amazing Grace Kabayan, Baby's Grill! Renee's Kitchenette! Cake Glen Sari Sari! Justina Capabilia, Tito Rats! Merpodo Kachika! And all of our businesses, Filipino businesses! Maraming salamat sa lahat!
Ikaw lamang ang aking laging pinabalikan. Manila, I keep coming back to Manila. Simply no place like Manila. Manila, I'm coming home. I walk the streets of San Francisco. I drive the rides in Disneyland. Ain't it a million girls in Sydney? Somehow I feel like I don't belong. Hinahanap kita Manila. Ang ingay mong kaysa sa tenga. Mga jeepney mong nagliliparan. Mga babae mong nagkagandahan. Take me back in your arms, Manila.
Sorry. So everyone's out. Let's go.
Na kitang nilayasan, iniwanan na ibang pinuntahan. Parang babae, ang hirap talagang malimutan. Ikaw lamang ang aking laging pinabalikan.
time for you beautiful people. I know you guys know this one.
Napakasaya ko po dahil nagkaroon na tayo ng Little Manila Avenue. It's about time na magkaroon tayo ng Little Manila Avenue. At dito nagtatagpo ang mga Pilipino. Maraming Pilipino ang nagpupunta dito. So, tama lang na magkaroon tayo ng Little Manila Avenue. Masaya, madaling makakita ng mga pagkain. Marami kang Pilipino na mamimit. At saka, siyempre, pag magkakasama kayo ng mga Pilipino, masaya kayo. Pag may mga problema, nag-share kayo sa mga problems, so tutulungan. Ang una ko napuntahan dito is yan, right there. So, madalas kayong magpunta dyan. So, ang dami-daming pumupunta dyan mga Pilipino. Not only Filipino, but foreigners who like Filipino food. So, napakaganda talaga dito. Masaya ang mga tao dito pa nakikita-kita. But we support other businesses too dito. And we always eat here. Nalibot na namin lahat ng mga kainan dito, ng mga Filipino. We now have Max. Oh, the other one, they left before Max was another place, but they just moved to another area, sa Amherst. So, but there are others. Yung Kabayan is still here, the two Kabayans, and the Phil-Am itself is always packed with people. And the ibang padalahan, LBC, Johnny Air Cargo, and the other. Oh yes, convenient. Sometimes people ask me, where do, Edna, saan ako pwede magpadala? So I just tell them, go there, come here to Little, now I can tell them, come to Little Manila Avenue, right? Our community,
always came here to have my lunch here, my breakfast, because I love Filipino food. Walang iba kundi sa atin. Well, anyway, one time when I was here last week, somebody gave me a leaflet on that. So I remember, today is the Little Manila, and they said it will start at 12 o'clock. But I came here late because I have to travel from Bronx to come here. It's a nice meeting people, and it's very pleasant and proud enough for us to be in this place in America, and it's in the name in our country. It's in the Philippines. Manila is from the Philippines. It's the capital of the Philippines, and we know it. And we are glad that somebody organized it for that matter. Importante yun para tayong nandito sa America, especially here in Queens, we are being recognized para malaman nila na tayo ay nagkaisa. Tayo ay nagkaisa.
Have you guys know this one? From the center. 5, 6.
Something new, the Casper Slide Part 2, featuring the Platinum Band, and this time we're gonna get funky, funky, funky. Everybody clap your hands, clap, 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 clap your hands, clap, 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 clap your hands. All right, now we're gonna do the bass step to the left. Take it back now, y'all. One up this time. Right foot, let's stop. Let's go. Cha-cha, real slow. to the right. Crisscross. Crisscross. Cha-cha, real smooth. Let's go to work. To the left. Take it back, back, yeah. 2 hops this time. 2 hops this time. Right foot, 2 stop. Left foot, 2 stop. Hands on your knees, hands on your knees. Turn it out. To the left. Take it back, back, yeah. 5 hops this time. Right foot, let's go. Left foot, let's go. Left foot again. Left foot again. 1, 2. Right foot, let's stop. Left foot, let's stop. Freeze! Everybody clap your hands. Come on, y'all. Check it out, y'all. How low can you go? Can you go down low? All the way to the floor. How low can you go? Can you bring it to the top? Like you never stop. Can you bring it to the top? One hop. Right foot now. Left foot now, y'all. Cha-cha, real smooth. Turn it up. To the left. Take it back now, y'all. 1 hop this time. 1 hop this time. Reverse. Reverse. Slide to the left. Slide to the right. Reverse, reverse. Reverse, reverse. Cha-cha now, y'all. Cha-cha again. Cha-cha now, y'all. Cha-cha again. Turn it out. To the left. Take it back now, y'all.
Today I witnessed an epic, historic time for our Filipino community here in New York, not just in Queens, but New York itself. Our Filipino community here has been working very hard and striving for more than 30 years. And to celebrate it on a day like this, on our Independence Day, is something worthwhile and memorable. It is celebrating the migrants. Feel very proud and very happy that New York City finally acknowledged our contributions to New York City, and especially acknowledge our healthcare workers, especially that worked through COVID until now and who are right now working in the hospitals during this pandemic. And not only for the healthcare workers, but for our other workers too that are unseen, our blue-collar workers. We also want to embrace our homeland here in New York, and for New York to give us that opportunity to embrace both our cultures is something that we will always treasure in our community. And we want to thank the New York City and also our Filipino community here that worked hard for this day.
To the right,
right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Give it up for all you beautiful people. Thank you for coming to Little Manila. Happy Independence Day, y'all. My name is DJ Estioco, and have a good day.
Well, today is June 12th, and as Filipinos know, it is Philippine Independence Day, our day of freedom. And today we celebrated by unveiling a street sign that says Little Manila Avenue here in Woodside, Queens. So it's been a 2-year process, actually. It started in 2020, summer of 2020. Actually, on June 12th of that year, we had another event. We unveiled the Mabuhay mural, which is on the other side of this block. And my partner, Xenia Diente, she had this street sign that she made by hand that says Little Manila, and it looked like a street sign like the one we have here. And the council member at the time said, we should make this happen once and for all. And if anyone wants to push this effort forward, I will make sure it happens. And so we had a public commitment from the council member, and then we followed up with him, and we created this campaign. And then we tried to get the community together to join us in making sure that this happened. We collected a bunch of signatures from everybody in this neighborhood. We told them what we were working on. We launched an online petition that got signatures from not just this neighborhood, but all over the country, all over the world. So we were able to show the New York City government that the Filipinos in this community, or just the Filipino community at large, really knows that Filipinos contributed to New York City. After we did all the petitioning, we submitted the proposal or the application at the end of the summer of 2020. And after that, it was just a waiting game. Because we were in the pandemic, at the height of the pandemic, the city council was obviously very busy taking care of people. So street code namings weren't the priority. But finally, in December 2021, it got passed in legislation and it was official. And then we decided to wait till June 12th this year to unveil it. Yeah, we have a long relationship with the National Alliance for Filipino Concerns. And then also the Filipino American National Historical Society. We came together actually during the pandemic. We did a lot of deliveries from Little Manila restaurants to healthcare units all over the city, beginning in April of 2020. So that's where our I guess mini coalition or a bond had formed, and so we've been working together, consistently the past 2 years. That was before my time. From what I've heard, that there was unfortunately unsuccessful attempt at doing it. I wish I could speak more about it, but I wasn't here for that. But we're just grateful that this was a success and that we can, highlight the community. I was just telling someone else that what I had after all the festivity, the energy, kind of like after the end of the program, I decided to take a walk actually by myself and just kind of reflect a little bit and kind of absorb all the feelings, because it was a long journey to get here, actually. Like I said, the 2 years. But even though we had some rain and we had to scramble late last night to find tents and to figure out what we would do with the weather, people still turned up. People still wanted to be a part of this historic moment. There was so much joy, there was so much pride for the people who were here. And even just the week leading up to today, like a lot of our volunteers had been flyering and talking to the businesses, talking to people on the streets about what was happening, and just generally everybody said that they were excited about it. So seeing that we could do something that makes people happy, that's the satisfaction I get. Yeah. So what does it mean to me personally? How I feel about it?
And for the community, what do you think it emphasizes? For the community here in New York and America.
Okay, yeah. Well, that I really appreciate that question, because a lot of the questions that we had gotten when this whole effort started was why Manila? Why not Little Philippines? Why not a lot of other names? And we love the creativity from the community. We love that people have so many opinions and people feel like they have a say. But thankfully there's a lot of other streets here in New York that could get co-named. So I hope people get inspired by this and try to take it further. But for me personally, Little Manila, I think about this a lot. My family's actually not from Manila. My family's actually from Bicol. And the way that I think about this neighborhood, it is a little Manila because every Filipino who has come to the U.S. from the Philippines had to pass through Manila to get here. Manila was a portal, a gateway, for people to kind of, I guess, connect to whoever their family is, but also seek a better life. And then even today, Filipino Americans like me, who are American, whose parents are from the Philippines, but I was born here. Oh, wait. As the child of two Filipino immigrants, having a community that is like Manila in the Philippines, that is a portal for me to connect to my roots and to my community. That's what it means to me. That like this place is like the energy is different. You really are transported when you're here, and that's why Little Manila is so significant. That's why the sign is here, because we want to make sure that it's preserved. We want to make sure that people understand that this is more than just this intersection or this real estate or the food or whatever. It's about our connection to home and making sure we maintain that. I wish I could know what every Filipino is thinking, and we're not a monolith, so what I hope that people get from this is that maybe there will be some momentum for us to get a community center back in this neighborhood. That's what I think we really need, because the 2 years that it took to get here, all of us that did this work, we're volunteers. We all have day jobs. And then we try to support the community as best as we can with the extra time that we have and our free time, because we're passionate about this, right? But if we had a community center, we get a full-time staff who are constantly seeking out the interest and making sure we're supported, making sure that our voices are heard, making sure that our needs are met. So now that it's here, I hope people pay attention. I hope people feel more proud. I hope people feel like they can be more brave to say what they need. Rest is next, because we're tired because, like I said, we do this in our free time. But like me, I'm an artist, as I had said. I want to focus back on the art again, and we're lucky to have gotten some support from the Monument Lab, an organization who had given us a grant to start designing a monument for care workers here in Queens. And we called it Tandang Sora, or the Tandang Sora Project. So it's more of our effort to share more of the history of the Philippines and the deep connections that Filipinos have to this country through the care labor and everything. So we hope that will become a mainstream part of the U.S. history too. I do have my master's in education, so I think about it all the time. I consider myself more of a community educator. And something like a street sign or a monument, that's public memory, that's history, that's education. Not all education is in the classroom. It's also in the places that we occupy and live and walk around. And as Jackie Mariano in the speech said earlier, after all of us are gone, hopefully the sign will still be here, and then people will get that education that Filipinos were here or still there. That's the hope. Yeah.